Howdy guys, Nintendo Capri Sun here, and welcome to my 16-bit summer project. 16-bit summer is the thing that Master Exploder is doing. As you may know, last year he did 8-bit summer, and this year he did 16-bit summer, and I've just been putting it off, and finally I decided, okay, I got a game I'd like to do, a 16-bit game that a lot of people probably don't know about. I've never actually heard it mentioned. Almost never. Whoops, that's the wrong controller, dude. That's hooked up to your PS2. I'll tell you later, if I can remember to, how I knew that was the wrong controller without even looking at it. Because what a story that is. Actually, I'll go and tell you right now, it's because I'm grinding on Final Fantasy XII, but I'm doing the thing where you don't even have to touch the controller, and I felt it vibrate on my leg. That's how I knew it was the wrong controller. Yay! So what you're watching right now is actually the real intro to Smartball. This intro is not included on the American version of the game, which I hate, because I had never seen it in my life until like a month ago. And I knew there had to be a good story to this game. I just knew there did, because I've seen the ending 100 times. And, hell, maybe I even got a little touched by it a couple times if I was feeling a little vulnerable. But man, I'm telling you, you could tell just by watching the ending that there was a story there that they never really explained. Now, maybe there was a story in the instruction manual in the US version, I don't know. But to me, I prefer having the story given to you kind of in the video game a little bit too. That it feels more like part of the game itself, like the game actually, you know, concedes or coincides with the story, like Super Metroid, for example. I mean, that wouldn't feel the same if you didn't have the story of, you know, the Metroid and all that. The Metroid, yeah, because what else would Super Metroid be about? I'm just waiting for the music to stop here, and then we'll start the game. I'll be gushing a lot about the music in this game, and what do you expect? It's 16-bit games. They all have the best music. What can I say? It's just never been the same. Then again, whatever. Yeah, and in case I didn't mention it, this game is actually called Jerry Boy in Japan. And some people actually call it Jelly Boy, which is ironic considering that you're basically taking that sort of form, and that the R and L thing actually makes that work. So, let's get started on the first level, shall we? So, you're a little jelly, and you're walking around back and forth. You can attack enemies a number of ways. Squishing yourself against the ground is one. Pop! Or you can go like that. Pop! That sounded really stupid, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You pick up letters that spell Jerry. Each letter is a checkpoint. So there are 5 checkpoints in every level. And trust me, you're gonna need them. This game is not as easy as it looks. The controls are very awkward, because there's a lot of different things you can do. For instance, you can stick to walls like this. But you can only do that when you're holding down Y, which is also the button that makes you run fast. Therefore, you know, you'll oftentimes find yourself doing things you didn't mean to do, or, you know, just landing in the wrong spot. Also, the left or right controls, especially with the momentum, it's very awkward. You pretty much lose all of your momentum the moment you let go of the controller. Oh, okay, I didn't explain that, actually. You pick up balls throughout the game, and you can use them as ammunition to fight off the monsters. You can see how many balls you have in the upper right corner, but you lose them all at the end of the level, which is unfortunate, because it would really help if you could stock those up from level to level. There are 8 worlds in this game. Each world contains an A level and a B level, so like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and so on, all the way up to 8. So, and here's the first level where the music really kind of grabs me. It's very quiet, though. You're probably not going to be able to hear very much of it. I just love crawling on walls. If you're on a wall against the side like this and you just let go of Y, you'll just, like, drift down the wall. And notice how I also turn a different color when I press Y. I actually turn brighter, and I start moving faster. I start pulsing faster. Like a foot that's been inside a shoe. Or something, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of times when you're going up a wall and onto a piece of land like this, you'll always go further than you want to, especially in the ice level, and that can cause all kinds of problems. It's just, you know, there are a lot of issues I have with the control scheme of this, but then again, it's just, that's my issues, not really the game's. You just have to get used to it. It's one of those games you really have to practice. Most bosses can be defeated pretty easily by just utilizing their invisibility frames, because when that happens, they can't hit you. As long as their invisibility frames are active, then they can't hit you either, much like Zelda. So you can just kind of whack them until they're dead, and they can't really do a thing about it. There are some other bosses that will get out of your range a little bit. Now this music, actually... I'm probably going out on a limb here by saying this, but this could actually pass for a Zelda dungeon theme, as far as I'm concerned. It's just that great. I don't know what it is about it, but I could picture this in a Zelda game for some reason. Well, now I know why my Y button's not responsive, because my thumb is swollen up and it's more solid. So I can't like flatten my thumb over both the B and A buttons, because my thumb is like swollen and solid. Otherwise, I could normally like squish it over both of them. But it's like you can't squish a rock over a flat surface, you know. And my thumb is like the rock in that metaphor. There are a lot of different ways to go in every level, so, you know, I'll be skipping. I'm not going to be sitting here going around and exploring every level to show you every little thing that's around, because that would just take forever, and you end up, you know, sometimes finding yourself in a very dangerous situation that you don't want to be in. Other times, you'll find the strangest things. There's a world later on where you can find yourself, like, if you explore long enough, eventually you find yourself in this dead-end room, and there's a kid walking around in the room. And he doesn't do anything. You can't do anything with him. You can't hurt him. He can't hurt you. You can't interact with him in any way. He's just walking around in the room. And something about that just kind of lends itself to the atmosphere of the game so greatly that the world of the game feels very much alive, even when you're gone. Like, after you leave a level, you'll still see monsters moving around. And it feels very much, you know, like like just because you're gone doesn't mean everything stops happening, you know. Life ceases to function or any of that. And normally in this level, you would actually swim across the water to the right and come up the other side of this gigantic platform I'm trying to get on. But I always like to do it this way, and this jump is actually really hard to make, but there we go. This will get you there a little bit quicker. And once again, these simple platforming like this becomes a real problem child in this game. There we go. Get this one up here before we leave. I'm not sure why it says city on the sign, considering that we're kind of leaving a city and going back to land again, but your guess is as good as mine. I played this game when I was like about, well, 1993. I was 17. And I don't remember how it happened. I either rented it or we bought it at a flea market, but either way, I eventually found my copy at a flea market in Atlanta. It was like a huge indoor flea market they have there. And we were just spending time with Dad on the weekend. This is like after my parents divorced, so usually it was really awkward when we go with Dad because we never knew what to do, you know. It's like, he would always ask us what you want to do, and I'm like, I don't know, you know, because we knew he didn't have a lot of money at the time. And so we never wanted to tell him stuff like, oh, let's go to the movies or something, even though technically I guess that's probably cheaper than other things you could do. That Y button is really... Oh, it's because of my thumb, like I said. I don't know. Just little moments like this when you're climbing on the ceiling over a bed of spikes. I mean, there's just little moments like that I love about this game. It's just so very charming in a way. You know, it's not going out of its way to be different or creative or individual or anything or original, but somehow it finds a way to actually be, you know, wonderfully charming despite everything else. That R I just picked up might actually... Ooh, boy, that was close. That might actually be the second R in the level, because I have no idea where the other R is. But you would think it would be after this one, because the first R lit up instead of the second one. I don't know. This is an iron ball. It can be used much like a regular ball, except indefinitely, which is nice. The only problem is it slows you down considerably, because it's heavy, obviously. This boss is very strange. I don't know what to think of this, but oh, boy. It's a bunch of birds come in, and they fly into a formation, and then they drop fish on you. Because you don't see that every day. You've probably seen this background before in a certain little gem I'd like to call Super Mario World, but, you know, you can't blame them for ripping off. I mean, if you're going to rip off somebody, you might as well rip off the good ones. There, 2 more and we should be good. You don't have to actually kill the top 4, just the bottom 8. Which, again, is very weird. It's a lot of weird stuff in this game. Stuff happens that you don't expect, or you have to do things that you wouldn't expect to do. Come on, get that last one. Thank you. Man, I didn't want to have to wait for them to fly into formation again. That would have kind of stoomed. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't died yet. If I'm going to die, it's probably going to be on this level. This level is, for whatever reason, extremely hard. But yet again, it has excellent music. I mean, could you imagine this music in a Super Mario World desert? Okay, this part is probably the worst part of... I almost dare say it's the worst part of the entire game. Because you're going uphill and trying to jump over enemies, and it's very awkward. It's almost impossible to do without taking a hit. That's literally like the second time I've done it, ever since I started practicing, which, I mean, I've only practiced like 3 times, but I needed to practice 3 times. I wouldn't normally practice a game 3 times, but I did for this one because it's short, It only takes about 45 minutes to beat the game, so it's very simple. Little snake come chasing me there. You just see so many different random enemies one time in the game, and then you never see them again. And that's kind of what I love about it. There's so many... Like, everything feels very individual and, you know, not, I don't want to say original, because like I was saying, it's not like the game is hugely original, but... Yeah, we'll get rid of that. We'll need it in the next level, though. We need to keep it. Oh man, my glass is in front of the screen, and I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah. If you want to move faster with the iron, you can just throw it repeatedly like that. But keep an eye on what you're doing, because you never know when you're going to find yourself faced with a bunch of enemies. This room will force you to get rid of the iron, because you won't be able to jump otherwise, so... This music is great, too. Yeah, I did mention that already. It's just a pleasure to listen to as you're playing through the level. It feels very conducive to what atmosphere you're playing in. It's not... No. Okay, I don't know what that was about. That mouse usually doesn't... Here, wait. Okay, that's okay. We're almost at the end of the level. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna die. Why are you not gonna die? Why waste the time? I have no idea why Oasis is misspelled, but, again, original without being too pretentious. What is that on the screen? Is my game bugging out? Huh. I've seen that before. Either way, this is level 3B, so let's do it. Once again, when I said earlier, there's levels that have, like, multiple ways to go. This level is the prime example of that. And this level is also, I believe, the level with the kid that I mentioned, that you can't do anything with. But, if you ask me, the best way to do it, the best way to do this level is to stay to the top. And just stay in the top. Kind of like I did in the last level. You can go down here. It's kind of hard to see these passages, but you can go down through those. So, yeah, keep an eye out for those. The jump power-up is extremely useful. It just... You wouldn't believe how high you can go with it. But then again, I guess you have to believe it because you're seeing it right now. I mean, you can grab the ceiling from all the way down there. I mean, normally playing this game, I wouldn't expect that. Yeah. It's just so much easier to jump over when you're going downhill. I don't know what it is about this game. That's like I was saying earlier. I never finished up on that. I got this game when I was like 17 at the... Well, yeah, I did say it was at the flea market in Atlanta. But I don't know what it is about this game that I love so much. I don't guess I really love it. I mean, there are better games that I've played, but I'm telling you, there's something about this one that that's charming to me. Charming in its simplicity. The fact that it doesn't pretend to be what it's not. It's just a regular old platformer and nothing more, really. Oh boy, I almost kicked the bucket on that one. I don't like playing on like this, where you can't see where you're going. I'm trying to hit a thing over there because I know it's coming. Oh, there it is. There's also different rules of the game that you'll learn. Like, for instance, see how you can go, like, up a wall and then onto the ceiling like this? Well, if you're going, like... how do I even explain? There is something that you can't do, a similar situation, where you can't go around a certain corner. I'm trying to find, like, an example of that in here. I can't really. Oh, well, I'll think of it maybe later, I don't know. Oh, I know what it is. If you're going, like, if you're going along the ceiling and then you want to go up a wall like this, you can't do that. So, yeah. It's little things you have to learn through the course of repeat plays, which, I don't know, maybe you might ask yourself, why would somebody repeat play this piece of crap? I don't know. I'm gonna keep my jump power up because I can actually use it as a ball without wasting my balls, and I can finish off this boss a little quicker. Bam, that's one. 1, 2, 3. Most bosses only take... Oh, you know, you can actually pop this guy, too. Most bosses only take 4 hits to kill. It's not too hard. But a lot of weird things happen when you beat bosses. Just random weird stuff. And that's part of why I like the game. I know I keep saying this. I'm just gushing and fawning nonstop. But, you know, you take off in a rocket ship, you're going to the moon, obviously. Where else would you be going? I always expect that not to land on the moon. Because that's a 2D background, and apparently it's aiming for a certain spot. But it lands on a different spot on the moon each time. And I always expected, yeah, you can go back to other worlds previously, but only so far, only up to the world you've been on. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video there. We're just going to do like 3 worlds at a time, and then the 2 worlds will be the finale. This is going to be a 3-part LP, because as I said, this is a very short game, and now I'm turning into corn checks, so I'm just going to shut up now. See you guys later, and bye.